Testimony of Joseph Scarrett. When the third funnel had nearly disappeared, I heard 4 explosions, which I took to be the bursting of the boilers. The ship was right up on the end then. Suddenly she broke in two between the third and fourth funnel. The after part of the ship came down on the water in its normal position and seemed as if it was going to remain afloat, but only remained a minute or two and then sank. The lights were burning right up until she broke in two. Testimony of Samuel Rule. Just before she disappeared, there was a rumbling inside the ship like an earthquake. Then the stern settled back a bit and she went down so slowly and quietly that there was no suction or commotion in the water at all. I think the noise we heard was that of the boilers and engines breaking away from their seatings and falling down through the forward bulkheads. At the time it occurred, the ship was standing nearly upright in the water, with her stern in the air and the forward part as far as the after funnel underwater. Percy Keane did not testify about the third funnel collapse.
I did.
Sorry. Percy Keane did testify about the third funnel collapse. He would have foremost standing funnel, which would have been...
Sorry, made a mistake. Should have said he would have meant foremost standing funnel.
Okay, shall I start again?
Oh no, thanks, I can do it. Which would have been third funnel time of breakup. Oh, sorry for doing it.
It's alright, I'll do it. Percy Keane did testify about the third funnel collapse. He would have...
Well, just as be testimony.
Testimony of Percy Keane. We saw the lights go out, and through the darkness we could faintly hear shouts for help, mingled with cries of agony and despair. The ship seemed to break in two forward of the first funnel, which crashed down on passengers and crew. There was a terrible rumbling sound, which we believed was the machinery breaking and tearing through the hull, and this was the end of it. The Titanic and all remaining on board her was swallowed up in the ocean. Several survivors did testify sparks or an explosion during or before the breakup. Frank Osman. After she got to a certain angle, she exploded, broke in halves. You could see the explosions by the smoke coming up the funnels. There was a great amount of black smoke coming up through the funnels after the explosion.
Esther Hart. For a few moments we could see everything that was happening, for as the vessel sank, millions and millions of sparks flew up and lit everything around us. Charlotte Collier. She was tilted forward, head down, with her first funnel partly underwater. To me she looked like an enormous glowworm. No sound reached us except the music of the band. Oh, those brave musicians. They played Nearer My God to Thee, and they kept it up until the very end. Only the engulfing ocean had the power to drown them into silence. The end was very close. It came with a deafening roar that stunned me. Something in the very bowels of the Titanic exploded and millions of sparks shot up into the sky. This red spurt was fan-shaped as it went up, but the sparks dispersed in every direction in the shape of a fountain of fire. 2 other explosions followed, dull and heavy, as if below the surface. The Titanic broke in two before my eyes. Lulu Drew. There was a huge blaze near the funnels, then another explosion, and finally the Titanic sank out of sight.
Harold Bride. Sparks and flames were flying out of the funnels. There must have been an explosion, but we heard none.
Marie Young. There was a great explosion just before the end. The ship seemed to break in two, and sparks shot up like fireworks.
Edward Bean. Not long after this, however, there came the first big explosion. Then, a moment later, the second explosion. This second explosion was the one that did the most damage. It blew away the funnels and tore a big hole in the liner's side. The ship rocked from the explosion as if she were an eggshell. The Titanic careened to one side and passengers making for the boats were spilled into the water. Jack Thayer. I saw the ships in a sort of red glare. Suddenly the whole superstructure of the ship appeared to split, well forward to midship, and bow or buckle upwards. The second funnel seemed to be lifting off, emitting a cloud of sparks. she was 50 or 60 yards away. They could have been referring to either the breakup or second funnel collapse. I think most likely the breakup due to the uptakes on the third funnel, which show signs of sparks through it, wouldn't have caused the third funnel to collapse. The third funnel would have had to have fallen during the breakup. There is no way it could have remained standing, as its base would have been badly damaged and the structural failure would have gone to right in front of the fourth funnel. I believe the third funnel fell with water at its deck house, but not at the funnel's base, as hardly anyone mentioned it. At this point, water is nearly at the third funnel as the bow disconnects. The third funnel, which is unstable, topples forward and to starboard, crashing into the water, making a big splash that Keane notices. An eruption of sparks occurs between the break and now due to water meeting coal dust in the uptakes, in my theory.